Hi, I'm Bob Sambol from Bob's Steak and Chop House, and today's rare conversation is with one of Dallas's restaurant legends, Javier Gutierrez. Javier's restaurant is getting real close to 50 years.
48,
48.
but it feels like 49.
Well, Javier's is a restaurant, but it's an institution restaurant. It's when people think of Dallas restaurants, Javier's always comes to mind, and he has a very interesting story. And so there's a lot of misunderstood facts about you. But first of all, where did you grow up? How did you get into this? And I always ask everybody I interview, in sixth grade career day, did you raise your hand and say, I want to own a Mexican restaurant in Dallas, Texas?
No, sir. No, I want to be a man of cars. 'Cause
Cars.
I love cars.
Uh-huh.
Race cars, sports cars.
But where were you when you grew up?
I grew up in Mexico City, okay? I lived in Mexico City till my father, who was a doctor, moved our whole family to Dallas when I was 12 years old, 1962. So I've been in Dallas since then, and love it. Still here.
And so when you say, how did you love for cars, wanting to do something with cars, how'd you end up with a restaurant?
Well, that's a long story, actually. You know, I would have never known that I would have ended up in the restaurant business. At the time, after I got out of college, I went to work for a gentleman out of New York that was in the ladies' garment business. So he wanted to expand his ladies' wear down in the Valley in South Texas and everything. But anyway, long story short, we used to have lunch near the apparel market. There was a Mexican Tex-Mex restaurant called Chiquitas. I don't know if you remember Chiquitas,
No.
but it was very popular for a long time. And my partner at the time, or my boss at the time, that came down from Brooklyn, he loved it, and he was always trying to figure out a way to make money. So he said, man, look at this restaurant. Look at the business they're doing. Why don't we open a restaurant? And I said, Marvin, I can think of a lot of reasons why we don't open a restaurant. But down the road, he got together with another good friend of mine from Monterrey, Mexico. They got together, and they offered me a plan to where they would give me a third of the equity if I decided to put it together, create the concept, run it, managing it. They didn't want to have anything to do with it except owning 2/3, and they would give me a third. And I told these guys, I said, well, y'all got more money than sense, because I don't know anything about the restaurant business. But if you're going to do that, you're going to be that generous, I'm in. So it was challenging at the beginning. But I told them, I said, if we're going to do a Mexican restaurant, I'm going to do something that you don't see in the city of Dallas. Because in the city of Dallas, all the Mexican restaurants, and there's a lot of famous ones, Chiquitas, El Chico, El Fenix, all those restaurants that have been around forever, very successful. But I wanted to do something like what I grew up with, okay? So I don't know if you've ever been to Mexico City. Have you been to Mexico
No.
City? Never have?
Mm.
Mexico City is a very continental city. A lot of the Spanish culture and European culture, and it's totally different. The Mexican cuisine in Mexico City is totally different from the Tex-Mex cuisine that is so popular in Dallas-Fort Worth and all over the country. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's obviously exceptional. People love it, and it's been around forever. So I wanted to do something more like what I grew up with. So that's the reason why I opened the restaurant. Mm-hmm. And I didn't, the concept that we have is more of like if you were in Mexico City and you went to, upscale restaurant, that's the kind of food you would get. Mm-hmm. I brought a chef from down there, and the rest is history. 48 years of it.
So when you first opened, was it an immediate success?
No.
Yeah.
The first thing people ask, this is a Mexican restaurant, where are the enchiladas? I said, we're down the street over there, but here we have a different kind of thing. We have fresh seafood, we have steaks, we have chicken, all seasoned with the spices of Mexico, And they go, argh. But the clientele, our geographic location here right outside of Highland Park, helped a lot because a lot of the Highland Park people, they travel,
Mm-hmm.
and they're more familiar with different concepts, and they were open to it. And so it was a bit of a struggle the first couple of years. We only had the one room up front. We only sat about 50 people. But it began to take, to build up more and more. And we were fortunate enough to buy the building, which this building used to be all different storefronts. And once we bought the building, we expanded into the different rooms, and now it's what it is.
And we'll get into the cigar smoking history in a minute. But did you always have cigars?
No,
Okay.
no. After we opened, this whole building, there was about 2,000 square feet left, which starts over there and, this whole room. And I said, well, what are we going to do with that space? The kitchen can't handle any more, restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother was in the cigar business, and, we always liked cigars, and we always enjoy cigars and the combination of the cigar and the fine liquors and that kind of thing. So we said, well, why don't we do a cigar bar? So we did a cigar bar. So
What year
it
was that?
That we're talking about 30 years ago.
Wow. So cigars really weren't cool then. People smoked them, but it wasn't faddish.
No, but it was an immediate success because a lot of the business people, businessmen, they would come in here and smoke cigars and then go have dinner.
Right.
Or the other way around, they would have dinner and then after dinner have an after dinner drink and smoke a cigar. So it was like a revolving door, and it worked really well.
Yeah. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I was affected by it because we allowed smoking at Bob's at the time. Dallas decides to go no smoking.
Right. Oh, I'm well aware.
And I vehemently fought it. I lost. You won. You got to keep your license.
Yes.
So you figured out a way to do it. And because of that, basically, you're the only cigar lounge in
Dallas
a
County.
restaurant in Dallas.
Yeah.
And it's now your calling card.
Yes. Well, when the cigar thing came down, I thought it was wonderful because nobody wants to smell a cigarette inside a restaurant. You're trying to have dinner, and a lot of these people are not used to being around cigarettes or cigars, and they don't care for it. Okay, and I understand that. So they had a lot of success with that, eliminating the smoking in restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So, a couple of years later, the mayor decided, well, let's just stop cigar bars too. I said, wait a second, you can't do that. And we had, we had to go to court.
Sure.
I mean, it was a complicated deal. But thank God it worked out. We did X volume, which we had to maintain the volume of cigars to maintain the license, which we do.
Right.
And of course, we have a separate entrance, so it doesn't interfere with the rest of the restaurant, so it's air freshened and everything else. So, it worked.
Well, for us at Bob's, I fought it, and our front room was smoking. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of nights where it was really smoky.
Right.
So we get voted down and we lose the smoking. Our business went up. I didn't realize how many people didn't like
Right, that's
the
what I was
idea
saying.
that we smoked at Bob's.
Right.
And plus, actually, the restaurant became easier to manage because I didn't have smoking and non-smoking.
Right.
And
But how much of that smoking was cigars versus cigarettes?
a lot. Cigars was 90%.
Really?
Because we discouraged cigarette smoking. We didn't want anybody smoking a cigarette. And every once in a while, someone would sneak one. It's hard to tell somebody who just spent $1,000 on dinner that he can't have a cigarette when the guy next to him is smoking a cigar. But it, it all worked out. So here we are. You've been around 47 years, 48 years, getting on 50. You've watched the Dallas restaurants come and go, and I know you and your lovely wife go out and you try the new restaurants. And so I know how I feel when I go to new restaurants because basically Bob's is the same as it's been. And tell me how you feel when you go see all these new restaurants where these guys spend $15, $18 million and build these palaces. And you go to, tell me what goes through your mind as a guy who's basically stuck to his plan since day one.
Well, first thing I wonder is how are they making any money? Because they just put $15, $20 million in these places like you just described. So you have to really have a big volume to get out of the hole. And there's a couple of them recently that have opened, that have opened, and some of them have had success, some of them haven't. It just really depends on the quality of the product, how they price themselves, and how they maintain the consistency. But and then the real estate's a big factor too. If you own the real estate, that's a big advantage.
Sure.
But I always find going to different restaurants, but we don't go to so many. I mean, one of my favorite restaurants is your place.
I know. Thank you.
Those wonderful lamb chops you serve are delicious. And, we go to other places, but yours is probably the Albernays.
Yeah.
We go to Shinsei.
Uh-huh.
Little Katana for lunch down the street's
Yeah.
really good. So, but you know, I mean, I think in the business, everybody has different sets of challenges. Oops, sorry about that. Duck season's coming.
Duck season's coming.
Sorry.
Okay. So, you know, Dallas has evolved and there's so many restaurants. But one of the things, and you and I have talked about this, is the incredible longevity of some of your employees that you have.
Yeah.
You have so many people that have been with you so long.
Yes. Well, that's part of the key.
Yeah.
That's part of the key. Longevity and the consistency in the people that you have working for you.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, I have employees. Half of my 85 employees have been with me 28 years or more.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
I can't get rid of them. No, and I love it. Yeah, I mean, the waiters do well because there's always a nice volume in here. The people in the kitchen are they're like my partners because I mean they're the key. You know,
Oh, yeah.
consistency in the kitchen is it's what it's all about. So I'm able to take care of my people, you know, in a manner that they want to stay. So it works for both of us.
When you meet young restaurateurs and they say to you, Javier, what's the secret? How do I do a restaurant? I know what I tell them. I find young restaurateurs have a problem with you got to give the people what they want,
Right.
not what you want.
Right.
All right, you can't tell a customer, you know, what he wants, what they want on the menu. You got to put something that they can buy, and then you go from
Right.
there. So when you meet these young guys, and what do you tell them? You tell them, hey, I've stuck to the same thing forever?
Well, I tell them exactly what we just talked about. You know, I mean, whatever you decide you want to do, you have to be priced within, reason. You have to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't be changing the menu every time, all the time. That's one of the other things that are so important here. We haven't changed the menu in over 30 years. And 90% of the people that come here order the same dish
Right.
every time.
Yeah.
But you get some of these guys in the kitchen, some of these chefs that are all ego, they want to introduce all new stuff. Say, no, we don't need to introduce anything new. This is what people want.
Right.
So I, tell them that and advise them that the consistency and maintaining your employees is very, very important. Because I mean, if somebody comes and has dinner and a certain waiter waits on them that they really like, well, the next time they come in, they want that waiter to take care of them. But no, that waiter's not there anymore. They got some new guy. So there's no consistency in a lot of things, and that makes it a challenge.
I'm sure you have the same problem we do. We have so many servers that have been there such a long time, that they have too many call parties in one night, and we can't give them everybody that asks for them. And we have to say that, and that's in our business, there's good problems and bad problems.
Yeah.
That's a really good problem.
That's a good problem.
That's
to
a good
have.
problem
Yes,
when you have customers that want the same server and you have to explain why they can't have them that night.
And you just tell your customer when they call and make a reservation, so, well, I'm sorry, I'm going to try to put you with Freddie, but I don't know if we're going to be able to because he's already got exactly what you just said.
So you've been doing this a long time. You're my age. We're both getting to the point where, I know I don't want to quit. I want to just work a little less. You kind of feel the same way? You like what you love what you do?
I've been doing this for so long now that it's actually part of me.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do without it, So what I myself find doing is I have a ranch out in East Texas, so I go out there on Sunday, Monday, come back Tuesday. So I kind of break it up a little bit to where I'm out there in the great outdoors, which I love the outdoors, and break it up. You have to manage it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't open lunch. You don't either.
Right.
So
Right.
because that was a killer.
Yeah.
That's a deal killer right there.
Yeah.
You gotta breakfast, lunch, dinner, lunch, dinner.
Yeah.
So you balance it out as best as you can. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't do it forever, obviously. I mean, my physical health, and we'll have to. A lot of that will depend on how long I keep doing what I'm doing. But I mean, I enjoy what I do. I've been doing it for so long that I don't know what I would do if I didn't.
Yeah, I always tell people I love my wife and I love to play golf, but I don't want to do that either one. I don't want to see everyone either every day. In other words, you have to break it up. And I love, I don't know, I don't want to ever lose that excitement I feel when we're busy.
Yeah.
And we have a good night.
It's like
And
addicted. You get addicted to
right,
that.
to the action.
It motivates you.
To making people happy.
Right.
You just, you just feel good about it.
Absolutely.
So you've been here this long. You're kind of you've always remained the same, and I know I have some stories. So you've had all these different customers, famous people, not so famous people. Give me one or two stories about someone that came in here that might be famous, or the story that you just remember. I know because, I ended up somewhat getting to know some of these people, and it's always interesting.
Well, I get a call from the mansion, and they have a special guest, and they want to know whether I can take care of him. I said, well, who is it? And they said, well, it's Muhammad Ali. I said,
Wow.
yeah, I'll make him. Yeah, send him over. You bet.
Yeah.
So here he comes. There's a picture of me and him right over there. So he comes in, and he couldn't be nicer. Very respectful, very nice fella. Just looking at all the
Yeah.
and everything, And I said, man, I hate to do this, and I don't do this for anybody. But do you mind if we take a picture?
Sure.
He said,
Yeah.
of course. So we took a picture.
Yeah.
And he sits down, and he's enjoying his dinner. I go by and and check on him, make sure everything is okay. He says, the food is really good. He says, the cook must be black. And I go, well, not quite. Okay?
Yeah,
Close,
yeah.
not quite.
Yeah.
I thought that was, but that's the man, his
Yeah.
sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But so we've had a lot of people in here. I mean, we had, President Bush used to come here. The guys from Led Zeppelin, Jimmy
Yeah.
Page,
Yeah.
ZZ Top, all those guys. George Strait.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Got so many of them I can't even remember.
Man, you can exchange hunting stories
Cindy
with him.
Crawford.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of really cool people.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's
Through the
that's
years.
what's the great part. And then for me now, I'm taking care of kids and grandkids of my
Yes,
customers.
the third generation.
And they come in, they tell you that, hey, I remember my dad brought me here for my first time when I graduated high school, and we even have people who come in and say they have a party of 8, and I say hello to them. Yeah, my dad passed away, and this was his favorite restaurants. So we all thought we'd come into. You get those things, and those really make you feel good.
They do.
More than the famous people.
Do you have a hard time remembering all these people
Yes.
that have been coming here for?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, and then
Because I do too.
and then I have to go look at the reservation sheet, the open table, to see their last name, and now I remember who he is.
It's a challenge.
Well, I had a situation the other night with this young man. His mom told me that this was his 3rd straight birthday. He had dinner at Bob's. Well, he's grown. She showed me the picture. He was up to here on me. Now he's up to here. So I didn't recognize him. And I felt terrible. And I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, but you've gotten so big." And she showed me the pictures from each year.
Yeah.
But that's great. That's what makes it so good.
Generational. I mean, that's unbelievable. You're right. We're taking care of the 3rd generation.
So what I know, everybody that comes here, and it's so right about a lot of people that come here say, I order the same thing when I go to Javier's. I love that dish. What's your favorite dish here?
Well, the one that everybody likes, the filete cantinflas.
Yeah, that's the one.
Stuffed tenderloin with
Right.
gelato pepper sauce and cheese and butter. And it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
And
go wrong
everybody
with it,
loves
right?
it. People love that dish. It
Can't
sells
go
more
wrong
than
with it.
anything on the menu. But there's, our menu is really fairly simple because, we're only doing tenderloin beef, all the beef dishes, including the fajitas or tenderloin, the center cuts, and, of course, to the tips. Then red snapper, salmon, chicken, shrimp, and quail. And the quail has gotten to be amazingly popular.
Oh,
It's
I love
crazy.
it. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's I think that's a great compliment to a restaurant when people say they order the same thing every time. I really do. And other people say, well, I mean, I think it's a great compliment. It's so good that they come there for that.
Yeah,
And
they
I
do.
know how I feel. I want to be in people's rotation. That when they want this, they come here. When they want what I have, they come to me.
Yeah,
When they
right.
want
They
something
have
else, they
their
go
favorite.
to Al, they go to Nick and Sam.
Yeah.
And so you're in people's, because a regular is once a month.
Right.
That's a regular. That's a guy he comes in once a month, and we all have people that eat there twice a week and all that kind of stuff. But that's what we all strive for. I really thank you for taking the time out to do this, because when I told people I was doing you, I was going to interview you. They said, well, ask him this and because you're
Like what?
kind of,
What do
you're
they
kind
want
of
you
a
to ask?
mysterious guy. Because everybody thinks, some guys, oh, he started as a busboy, didn't he? Wasn't he a busboy there? And then he ended up buying the restaurant? I said, no, he wasn't a busboy. So I'm glad we cleared up a
I
lot
was a
of
busboy
things.
at Chiquitas, but I got fired.
I worked for my dad, and the busboy was the job that I just wasn't very good at.
Yeah.
And I had to go back. I had to go back to the kitchen.
Yeah.
I just wasn't a very good busboy. I didn't like that whole busboy idea, so I went back in the kitchen.
Right.
But that was a long time ago. Well, listen, thank you for doing this. You're a gentleman.
Bob, you're a gentleman
and
too.
I really admire your
No, and I admire
longevity.
you. I mean, I have a lot of respect for you.
Thank you.
You and I share a lot of the same customers.
Yeah, we do. We
They
do.
want cantinflas, they come here. They want lamb chops, they go there.
That's
and
right.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
They want good, different things. That's the way it should be. And
Well,
Dallas is, a great market. I mean, the people here,
the best.
and it's just getting crazier.
It's the best, and the more bring on the new restaurants.
Yeah.
Because they just make guys like us look even better. So thank you for doing this.
It's a
I
pleasure.
appreciate it.